You've got a new project out now that you're not only starring in, but you also co-produce. What was it about the Samson script and this character that resonated so deeply with you that you made you want to take both roles on?
Yeah, I mean, first I just loved that it was the strong female lead, and I don't get to play that a lot. And I'm so grateful that Ruth was taking this chance on me. Um, yeah, because I auditioned for it and it was before COVID. And I remember I was in the room with Ruth and we were just doing the scenes and they're so rich. And I've been wanting to do just like richer characters, more depth, like very complex. Um, so it was amazing. And then obviously COVID happened and we all kind of waited for each other. I was doing another project and then Ruth was like, "No, I want to wait for you to come back." Um, and I just love that it was a blend of comedy and drama and music.
Hmm.
Um, and it's this journey of I think we've all been in these toxic relationships. I certainly have. And so I loved the idea of playing someone who goes from like, ooh, like kind of weaker, meeker, and then by the end of it, she's a baddie. She stands up for herself. And yeah, just playing a badass female character was cool. I wanted to do that. Yeah.
I can't imagine anybody else playing this role. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is also the first time that you've co-produced a project. Have you found that the work that you did behind the scenes impacted the way that you approached your work as an actor on screen, or vice versa?
Yeah, I think for the most part I didn't like feel a difference. But I noticed that I just felt the role of producer a little more, like just kind of seeing the overall thing, making sure everyone's taken care of, and then also just learning. I actually learned a lot. I think this being my first co-producing, and obviously I want to do that in the future for other projects. Um, and just seeing how it all works was very interesting, and all the behind the scenes of it, what it takes to make a movie, um, what it takes to kind of be like a leader and all that stuff. So that was cool to see the flip side because I don't really get to see that a lot.
There's such an empathetic quality that you bring to all of your roles. And as audience members, we immediately connect with Emma and how she feels suffocated in this relationship. Like you're saying, it feels so universal. As a storyteller and an artist, how do you create that space to step into the character and discover where she sits within you? Because that tension comes through so powerfully on screen.
Oh, that's so sweet. That means a lot. Yeah, I think with any character, but especially this one, when I read the script, it's like I just connect with it, right? Like we find ourselves in the character because there always is. Um, and for me, yeah, just like I said, like I've had these relationships, I've been this person, and just bringing that awareness to the character and really just kind of trusting my instinct and my intuition about what she would be like, how she would react, how it would feel in those shoes. That's just kind of how I do it. I just go with my gut. And then obviously Ruth is there to kind of guide me. And I love direction like that. And she's just such a wonderful director. Because she's like a friend, so easy to work with. Yeah, I think it's just all of that. Just going with what I feel initially, um, coming from my experiences, and then just adding a little Emma flavor.
Mhm. What's so interesting about that dynamic between Dale and Emma is the journey that you both take audiences on, where that relationship started off rooted in love and now it's evolved into a kind of a different direction. Can you talk a little bit about collaborating with Ryan to build this dynamic and how the kind of the non-linear timelines help you bring out the different shades of this relationship and its complexities?
Yeah, what I love about the movie too is that like you don't know how
Yeah.
like what the relationship is in the beginning and it gets all messed up. Um yeah, it was so Ryan is so great and we did do some rehearsals like with Ruth, like in the trunk, like this fake trunk and trying to like get that dynamic. And by the end, when it's so intense, like I feel like we earned it because we were
Mm.
both so different in the beginning. And then by the end, you find out he's insane. And then I finally am like standing up for myself. Um, but I think for our characters as well, the surprise is in that normal dynamic. So you just see us breaking up. Like it just seems so like every day. like you wouldn't see the inner workings, like what actually like fucked them up in their relationship. And Ryan was a great scene partner. I think we just Ruth gave us the freedom to really go for it, and just play around. And yeah.
I think that's a testament to what you brought to this character too, because you're rooting for Emma, so you know that there had to have been something that she saw in Dale really early on
Yeah,
that makes
right.
that yeah, that dynamic work. And without giving too much away, like you're just saying, there's such a standout moment towards the end of the film when Emma takes her power back, and it leads to this really impactful musical number. What was your reaction when you read that in the script, and did you feel that weight of that scene?
When I first read it on the script, I was like, oh my God, like I didn't know what it would be like, but obviously I sing, I love music, so I was like, I'm here for this. And the song was so cool. The songwriter, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Ruth knew her from back in the
Yeah,
day or something. Such a cool song. But I didn't know how it was going to be done, you know? But it was so cool. It was like a music video. Ruth
yeah.
says like it's a music video inside of a movie. And it is this turning point where that's when the shift happens for Emma. And to do that through a song, I think is so cool and different. And it's unique because it's not a musical. Like when we see numbers like that in movies, it's usually because it's a musical or like, yeah, you see more of it. But I just love that Ruth just like popped in a song and she's like, this is how we're gonna symbolically show this moment. Um, and the weight of the song, yeah. I mean, it's deep, you know? It's heavy and it also not giving anything away. It's she sings it during this time, something crazy happened. Uh,
Mhm.
and I could feel the song from like when I sing it. It's like one of those songs when you sing it and you just feel it because of the way I have to sing it. It's such like a
Yeah.
so that was cool. Yeah.
It feels like a great theater production where it's like building to this moment that you don't know you need, but then when it comes,
Yeah.
I feel like that's like one of those scenes that everybody's gonna be talking about after they see this film. And like you were saying, you also have a musical background. How much do you leverage that medium to prepare for different scenes in a project, especially a film like this, where it's playing in so many different tonal spaces?
Well, with the music stuff, I mean, if there's anything with music, I'm always down. I'm like, if I can use all of my talents, because the show I did before was NBC's Always Extraordinary
Yeah.
Playlist. I got to sing and act and dance. So whenever I have an opportunity to do that, I am so down. I just feel like all those forms are ways to express our art, you know, express the story. And I think when you're able to do it well and use all those mediums, it makes the story way more powerful. Especially when you do it with someone who knows how to do it.
Yeah.
I saw Wicked the other day. It's incredible. Like the way music and acting and the cinematography, like everything comes together. It really takes a
Yeah,
village.
a really delicate line that all of you had to toe where it's so unexpected, but it really works for that moment. And it doesn't really take you out of kind of the immersion of the film. This is going to be a strange question, but you've steadily been releasing music throughout the years. If you had to select a song of yours that best describes Emma's journey in the film, which would it be and why?
Oh my God, what a question. Let's see. For Emma's journey, one of my songs, I don't really have a lot of Emma songs, but I guess the thing that pops up right now is my most recent song. It's called Stupid Boys, and it just makes sense because she was dealing with the stupid boy, which we all have, let's be real. There are good men out there, but a lot of them have to heal.
There's also this really beautiful sentiment that Ruth says in her director's statement about wanting to make a film about race without making a film about race. And it's really so refreshing that we get to have these diverse characters and not have to call attention to their race or ethnicity. And the last time that we talked about kind of the progress that this industry has made and how there's so many exciting Asian voices that are coming up, both David and Ruth included. When you're collaborating with peers who have similar shared life experiences, how does that comfortability allow you to take more risk in your performances?
I mean, it's amazing, you know, it's like a lot of sets are great, but when you're with like other people who look like you and it's just a different environment, it's I don't want to say it feels safer, but it kind of does. There's just like this unknown thing where you just know they understand your experience and also they understand your experience in the workplace. And I don't know, it's very inspiring to know that we're all out here like doing it. And also what I do love about this movie is, it explores this relationship without like explicitly talking about it,
Yeah.
um, of an Asian woman and a white man. And I think I've dated white men. It's just it's very complex. There's a lot of layers to it. And again, not saying obviously it's not a generalization, but I love how it's just like a subtle through line that we don't talk about, but that's a real thing. Like there's tension in there. But yeah, it's always amazing to see and work with just Asian creatives, and seeing everyone doing their thing, more opportunities for our stories to be told. I think there's even more room. There's always more room and space. So I'm excited, and I'm excited that this movie was part of that. Yeah.
And you're so incredibly humble, and I can sing your praises. But have you had time to kind of reflect on the contributions that you've made for our community and knowing that there are going to be young girls who are going to be able to see themselves leading a film now because of all the work that you've done, especially with this project?
Oh, Kevin. I think this is a nice reminder. I mean, just hearing it, I think we're all harder on ourselves, and there's so much I always want to achieve. There's more, more, more. And I've really been trying to work on staying present and just knowing right here, I have everything I need. Like this is enough. And yeah, I need to remember, and I do. I feel very grateful that I've been given so many opportunities, and yeah, I've done a lot of stuff, and I kind of don't believe it though. Like I'm like, oh yeah, of course, I guess there would be younger Asian girls, and that's why I do what I do as well, like amongst other things, the art, and because I love it. But of course, it's so that other Asian kids can feel inspired and know that they can
Yeah.
do it too. And that's like so moving to me. Where you're like being of service to the greater community, my career is not just about me. Um, it just makes it better. So that's cool. I just always want to be doing more. I need to stop. But it's good. I think you can hold both things. Like I'm so grateful. I've done so much. I'm so like, good job, Alice. But also being like, there's so much more I can do. And I can't wait to do all that. And yeah, just like the creatives, the Asian creatives before us who paved the way. Like I hope that we can just continue, and there's
Yeah.
even more opportunities for Asian people in
I
the
feel like
future.
artists are always, yeah, as artists are always striving to do more. But I feel like also for you, credit to you, like all the projects that you've attached yourself with have been of such quality. And I think when people see your name and attach to a project, they know it's going to be something great. And what I love so much about independent filmmaking is the freedom that it offers to take bigger creative risks. It really produces art that really defies expectations. And similar to your character in this, you go in expecting one thing and you get something completely different in the best possible way. How does working in that environment fuel your creative soul? As somebody that's worked on projects of all sizes, what is it about independent filmmaking that excites you as a creative?
I love independent films. Yeah, we love an indie. And I think it's like what you said. It's you can take more risks. Like it just feels everyone's not thinking about like, oh, is this gonna sell? Or like, what about this is gonna, I don't know, all the other logistical questions, they don't apply as much. Like, is this gonna make money? Like, it's really about the creative, and taking those risks and telling stories in different ways or stories that haven't been told. Um, and for me, I feel like in these indies, I get to stretch more of my muscles, like my acting muscles, like do richer characters. Like, I also did this other indie called All That We Love. Yeah. And that was also so deep and so different from what I normally do. Um, and yeah, I just think there's something beautiful about just independent films, and we need to be supporting them way more. It's just not, it's not, it's not cookie cutter. Not that all other projects are, but it's not like a formula that we have to
Yeah.
kind of follow. Like it's more, It's more, yeah, it's not more fun because there's so many projects that are fun, but and because it's an indie, there's just something that kind of like about it, like a little more intimate. Um, yeah, I love it.
That diner scene and all that we love is also one of the best moments I've seen in film this year.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
incredible at everything that you do. I have
Oh,
one. I have one final question for you. It's a silly one, but like, when are we gonna get a full album of yours? You've been
I'm
doing
gonna
singles here and there. We need a full album.
I know, thank you. I'm actually working on it right now. So I'm hoping next year. Yeah, we've been writing a bunch of songs and we're kind of trying to find the right ones. I'll probably release like singles still, a couple of them, and then they'll be part of the album and there'll be like more songs on the album. Yeah, I'm excited for that too.